Hey, Pop Rockers, how you going? Paul with you again. Hey, we've got special guest Rich Webb with us today. Rich has just released a new single, Blue Wildflowers. I've got to get that right because we don't want to confuse that one. And a new album coming out on the 9th of December. The album is called Right. Rich, how are you?
Not too shabby at all, Paul. Thanks for inviting me on to have a quick chat. It's really cool.
No, it's good. It's great. We get a good mix of musicians from all around Australia sitting down having a chat and getting to know the musician and how they come up with their music. It's good.
Top one, sir, indeed.
Yep. All right, so the song Blue Wildflowers, talk us through it. How did you come up with Blue Wildflowers?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know where it came from. Well, I've been trying to write a song like this for a while, actually. It's kind of, that there's the kind of, I don't know if there's a lovely quote by someone you wouldn't expect to come up with, such as somebody so brilliant. Muhammad Ali said something like, if a person who's at 50 still thinks about the same world as they did when they were 20, has wasted 30 years of their life. And kind of what I was trying to get at was this whole thing of you're different as you grow older. You hopefully get wiser, right, or smart, or whatever you do, or you get more compassionate, or you think about things a little more, and some of the things you made. And when you're a little bit younger, maybe when you look back, you think, oh, kind of like I really should have just been a bit more careful and be kinder, and sometimes and it's just about I was thinking about a relationship where probably we were doing really well together, and then just by not looking after it that well, we kind of drifted apart, and by the end of it there was no sort of relationship at all. And I was just thinking, how on earth did that happen? When you look at all things, and that's the kind of what the song's about. It's kind of like it's sort of an apology song about saying sorry, but I mean, no, it's not that everything was my fault, but I'm just saying, I realised probably I could have managed things a bit better in the past if I'd have if I was me now, right, I would have done something different. So
there's always two sides to the story. There's never one person to blame. So.
Yeah, and
unless you're the drummer and you miss time, then it's your fault.
Well, there was that. And forgetting the words. And then there's all those too. Or picking a string on a guitar. It's kind of like, I wasn't trying to say, oh, I've been a really bad lad or anything like that. More kind of like I was just looking at stuff and thinking, and also I just wanted to do a song like this to sort of remind myself again, right? Kind of like you got to live in the moment and really appreciate the things you got. It's not about always searching for something. The track around the corner, or whether the latest sun's shining just down there, let's jump over there. You got to kind of sometimes just appreciate what you got, and hopefully I am doing more than I used to.
Yeah, when you wrote it, did you already know what you were going to write, or did you sit down and you went through a thought process, and come up with the lyrics, or did you just jump in the studio and away you go?
It was in this room. I just was strumming a guitar, and I knew I wanted to write this kind of a story. And I was just fiddling around, and suddenly I found the chords. I just started finding these chords, and I was thinking, this is the kind of thing. And then next thing I knew, 10 minutes later, pretty much was all finished. It was kind of like it wasn't a long song to write, because I think I was wanting to write the story for a while. And once I headed down the road, the train kept moving.
Well, I've listened to some music today, and this is not your music. I was listening to someone else's music, and I just want to make a comparison about when you said you sat down and you wrote the song and it just came out and you had it down in no time. The difference when someone sits down and writes a song and it flows out sounds so much better than some of the songs that are coming out nowadays, and the lyrics and everything seem to be forced.
I think the source of the course is because I think sometimes you need to. Sometimes I feel like sometimes with those songs that come out, really a bit more fun, might tighten up, right? There's two ways to it. You got to think about them. You got to make sure, because you think, oh, it's come out, it's perfect, and sometimes you can adjust it and make it a little bit better. But I agree, like it, there's a lot of I think probably the one I'm finding the most difficulty is where you have those songs with 15 people have written them, right? And it's kind of like one person's written one line here, and some person, and I think, don't get me wrong, I think there's some brilliant songs written like that, and there isn't a black and white answer to it. But I also think sometimes you lose a little bit of
passion or a bit of the heart.
Yeah, the bit of heart and the actual realness to it, because it's all been constructed from almost like a bit like David Bowie used to do it, chop up lines sometimes.
Yeah. So the album, Right, is coming out 9th of December.
Yeah.
How many tracks on the album?
9 tracks. 9 tracks. Yeah.
9th of December, 9 new tracks.
Yeah. Well, Blue Wildflowers is on it. Actually, it's the lead track. So kind of.
Yep.
And actually, so if you've followed any of my stuff, it contains the first 2 singles. I've had 2 singles out this year prior to Blue Wildflowers, and they're all 3 of them. So all these 3 tracks are on the album, and then there's 6 tracks that people might have heard before. And also, so kind of, 6 new tracks and 3 singles that have come out in the last 6 months.
Now, this is your 5th studio album. That's a lot of albums to be putting out.
Yeah.
Now, I was going through some reviews, and one that really struck me, if I can find it again, it said it compared you to John Mellencamp, but it said John Mellencamp on drugs.
Yes, it was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm looking at it going, I'm a fan of John Mellencamp, and I thought, wow.
Yeah, I quite like that one. That's why I put it on the website.
You didn't make it up, did you?
No. I couldn't find it for you. It was in a German magazine. I used to do a lot in Germany.
Yeah, I've noticed. That's another question I was going to ask you about. You've done a bit around Europe and Germany, in the castle, and then some smaller places. What was that like?
Well, it was a strange thing how it happened. I went I went with Austrade, right, to a thing in Berlin called Popcom. I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. And while I was there, I'd had an album out at the time called Overboard, and it was and the single from it, a song called Don't Feel So Sad, actually went quite well. I met some people at Popcom, and somebody took it to the radio. Next thing I knew, I had a booking agent in Germany, and someone pushed it through the radio. It went quite well, and I ended up with a global publishing thing out of Holland, actually, but it was still from Popcom. On the Chapel, so I'm still with those guys. Actually, I'm still with the booking agent too as well. And so that all of a sudden, just on this one trip, which is fantastic, blind in Berlin, by the way, it was really cool. On the Australian stand, good old Austrade. Thank you very much, Austrade. I managed to piece together all this stuff. All this stuff came together quite quickly. Yeah. And next thing I know, I was going probably since then. Prior to COVID, I was going at least once a year across there.
Yeah,
often 2 times, sometimes 3.
So you're like the Australian David Hasselhoff.
It's good in Speedos, man.
They love him over there, don't they? They love the Hoff.
Absolutely adore him. I tell you, I also really like Johnny Farnham's The Voice. Often, if you're driving down the Autobahn at 240 k's, you'll switch on the radio and Johnny Farnham doing The Voice.
Probably swerve and crash. Get it off! Oh no!
They're a good country. They treat you well over there, right? And I was building kind of a nice little following prior to prior to COVID, and sort of COVID's put a little bit of stoppers on that whole international traveling. But hopefully, everything will come back, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully the world will come full circle and become normal once again, and we can go about our lives without worrying about it.
It's getting there, Paul. I reckon. I don't know. The last I was at, I went to see a fabulous band called Big Thief actually on Wednesday, and it was one of the first shows I've been to for a while, where it actually felt like we're back to normal, like everyone was just acting normally. And it's probably COVID central following it, who knows? But I mean, it felt like everyone's starting to get after the thousands of lockdowns we had here. We got a bit gun shy on the whole.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you because this recently just happened. And I'm trying to get as much feedback from people as I can. The ARIA Awards.
Yeah.
Did you watch the ARIA Awards?
You probably didn't. Should I admit? Yeah, I didn't watch them now. I'm not quite sure. What was on?
Pardon?
What was on? What happened?
Oh, it was just crap.
Right.
It was crap. The whole production of the show was crap. Even like it was canned on all the social media and on the news sites because it was produced so poorly. But I want to know how they come up with the awards and who gets what and how they get them because yeah, I don't know.
All I can say is I've never troubled the keeper at the area awards.
Yeah, I was pretty. I didn't know. I didn't know half the people who get these awards. I'm like, how have they get these awards? Like, there's one here. Someone got like, I think they got an award for the album cover.
Okay.
Best album cover. It's like, okay. Pardon? Oh,
good one.
It was colourful. It was colourful. It was creative. Don't get me wrong, but I thought, what a bizarre award to be given away. It was album cover, but anyway, because I really think that there's with the ARIA Awards, it's not a very fair and balanced award ceremony award thing. I don't know how they count them up.
If you get on the areas and you sort that out, just make sure you vote for me for the next one, right? This new album, so you can get that one to run next year.
Well, the plan for our online radio station on the app, because we've got 2 stations on the app, is have a third station where people on our first 2 stations, people can go and vote on the songs and cool. That's how we get our top tracks and things. But we want to start running a competition where people where we'll have 30 songs and just on repeat all day, so people can get on there any time of the day and vote for their songs, and start making giving out our own award system.
Yeah,
sounds good. Yeah, hopefully it'll take off. But so you got any shows coming up in Melbourne?
I do have a cracking show actually on the day after the album comes out. I'm launching the album with the full band, and most of the guys that are on the record we're playing at the Union Hotel in Brunswick. Which is a lovely, absolutely fabulous place to play. And it's a Saturday, and it's a family-friendly 5 o'clock start, runs till 5 till 7 p.m. And
that's cool.
Hopefully we'll get quite a few people down and have some fun. And intending to play the album, I'm intending to play the album right from start to finish.
Cool.
Probably once we've done that, we might play a few of the oldies and favourites and stuff after that. But we'll see how it goes because I'm really looking forward to doing it.
Oh, that's good. I wish you well. Yes, great. What I've got here, I look like I'm preoccupied, but I'm not. I've got, since I spoke to you last, we started a new thing, and I've got all these cards here, and they've got random questions on it, and it's all about getting to know Rich Webb. So I'm just getting 10 random questions.
I might find something else about myself.
Pardon?
I think I'm going to find something about myself, as you questions I try and come up with an answer.
They're pretty random, and they're pretty, they're pretty non-incriminating.
Oh, good.
Right. So you don't have to hand over your credit card number or anything like that.
Okay.
We have asked for it, not for yours personally, but we have asked someone for their credit card numbers in the past, but they didn't give it to us.
That one's out the deck, is it? You're trying to view it.
Yeah, we need all the help we can get.
You don't want to a hot water system, do you? Something like that, and get for a really cheap one. The panels people were doing that down here for a while.
Yeah.
It was all strange solar panels that didn't work. There was a thing. Anyway.
Solar panels, down lights, you think of it, they'll come and do it for you. All right, so are you ready for 10 questions to get to know Rich Webb? Okay, first one, you can pass. If you don't want to answer the question, you can pass. First one, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. What is something only you do? What's something only you do?
Write my songs.
Write your own songs. What is your birth month?
December. Actually coming up 2 weeks.
Okay. Mine's in 2 days. Hey, what is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'd like to say something ferocious like a lion, but I don't think so. I don't know.
Sun bear.
Yeah.
Other than your genre of music, what is your next favorite?
Oh, I like a lot. I like a lot of jazz.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the great things when I was originally living in London, not before I came out here many years ago, and one of the great things of being a musician in London was I used to go with my brother, who is a drummer in London, and we both get cheap membership to Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club, and because they give, if you're part of the Musicians Union, you got cheap membership to Ronnie Scott. It was one of the best things I've ever been a member of ever. Like you just go down there, it's just some of the musicianship and I just loved it. I don't know, and there's a jazz is it's a bit like saying rock. You know, there's loads. Jazz goes from here to there on difference and stuff, but I do love it when they get
it's
it
not
right.
offensive. It's a non-offensive form of music. Anyone can go there, and you may not even know what jazz is, and you go to a jazz bar and you have a good time. So
yeah, totally great.
Next question: all-time favorite movie?
Oh, With Nail and I.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
No.
With Richard E. Grant. It's about two students, two out-of-work acting students. Students who just left uni with acting degrees trying to get work in film. It's absolutely fantastic. Richard Griffith's in it. They're based in London and they go up to Yorkshire, which is not far from when I was originally born. And they try and, these London arty types try and talk to some Yorkshire farmers. It's really cracking film. Brilliant.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Next question. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Yeah, just me. Fill in the gap. I can't live without.
Jeez.
Something you can't live without.
My wife, definitely.
Your wife? Cool. That's a safe question. That's a safe answer, that one, isn't it? Yeah. The best pickup line given or received?
Received. Come over and do me right now.
It's pretty straightforward, eh? Final question. How old were you when you knew you wanted to be a recording artist or an artist?
Relatively. I really got into music probably about 14 or 15, something like that. I was relatively young. So, and I've got a slight little story because in that one of the, I was learning to start play guitar, and one of the first shows my mum used to be singing in churches, the chapel actually. Chapel and church. She did a lot of opera and choral stuff as well. And my first show was actually when I was about 16 or 15 or something like that. I was actually bagging mum playing a few songs in a church, and that was actually, and even then, even playing with mum, right? Mum doing some, I think we're doing Kumbaya and a Jones Byers song and a few other things like that. I just loved it. And mum sang beautifully, obviously, but I mean, even just being in front and just standing in front and playing a bit of guitar behind mum, I just felt like I just felt like I knew what I wanted to do from there on in.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's a real strange feeling. I'm not a musician by a long shot, but I used to DJ years and years and years ago back in the day. And the feeling about performing in front of a group of people can be a really amazing feeling. It's especially when you're doing really well. You don't want to do it. You don't want to muck up doing it because it's you can have as much fun doing it being really well, but when it turns sour, it really turns sour really quickly.
It just quickly. You can get some. I did a tour once. I did a tour once years ago. I used to be in a band called Stiff Kittens, and we did a tour through the UK supporting Stiff Little Fingers. I don't know if you heard them, the punk band.
Nah.
We did a couple of shows, right? We did one in Glasgow at the Barrowlands, and we came up, and you just walked straight out, and there's this barrage of beer bottles came like this. I tell you what, the energy was pretty ferocious. I loved it. I thought it was just great.
Is that when they got the motivation for that movie Roadhouse from? Was something you just walk out and
yeah, that one from the Blues Brothers where they got that net. That's what exactly needed this place. So they could just smash in the front where they do Rawhide 18 times.
In Glasgow, of all places, you're lucky to come out alive.
Well, that's true. I was born there originally. So you think it was St. Patrick's Day too, so everyone was drunk from about 10 o'clock in the morning. By the time they got stage at 8 o'clock, they were a ferocious bunch. God, it was fun. You could feel the energy, though. Tell you what, you just walked out and you went, "Wow, feel that!"
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, because like I said, DJ, I think one of my first gigs, it was like 5,000 people there. It was baptism of fire, and um, scared the living daylights out of me. I was shaking for days afterwards, but the feeling you get knowing that when you perform and everyone walks out of there with a big smile on their face is
Pretty cool.
absolutely crazy. But
Yeah, yeah. Pretty cool.
anywho, we're coming up to the end of time, so we've got to have to start winding up. It's really great having you on the show and having a bit of a chat.
Nice
So,
chatting to you, Paul. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting us on. Yeah, hopefully we get
no,
to do
we'll
it again at some stage.
hopefully have you back, maybe on
Yeah,
our quiz, maybe on a
sounds
quiz
good.
show or something. But thank you very much for taking your time out of your evening, because I know there's a bit of a time zone difference from where we are. You're in lovely Melbourne and we're in Perth. So thanks for that. Best of luck with your music. I hope it goes really well for you. And again, we'll have you back on the show real soon. Hopefully you can tell us all about it, how it goes, and how the show goes on the 10th.
Pleasure, mate. Looking forward to it. You live have stuff, yeah, and
Yep.
say good day to those red back beers.
We will. You take care. Thank you.
See you, mate. Cheers.
Bye.
See ya.
Blue wildflowers along railway lines, big moon beaming, late night drives, warm summer nights divide running days, second hand steals and more. Here comes my better half sitting electric at 4 for 24. We could live like this forever and never get bored. But I'm still circling everything and coming home late, steaming. Letting the air of our tides in imperceptible ways. You got the stroke, oh, but I was too slow to dance with you. I was angry, now you're angry too. In the bed, put the sheets up tight. Cheap little box of wine would be alright. Keep the wool packed away from the other side, it was really something. Soaked to the skin on this Atlanta bliss. Outdoor action for two, indoor kids. If I don't see you again, you know, hanging out here still. I was circling everything, coming home late, steam. Cutting through the edges of this Titanic maze. You got the stroke, oh, but I was too slow to dance with you. Now I'm sorry and I hope you hear it too. Oh, don't look at me that way. Grinding your boot through my shoe. Can't catch the slack overdose. When though you're leading away, I can still drink 2 cases of you. And I'm drinking them now, holding them now, and I'm holding them now. Can't sleep right now for playing over again and again. Another party we weren't invited to. Pair of unsocial outsiders, me and you. We're running out of room, tired of keeping this thing together. First time for listen, the phone.